a little a cross-branded episode here on the Mustang Network. We got the guys from Texas Private School Sports Media, TXPS Media. All right, it's our crew. Baseball's coming through. We're here at the end of the parade. Just finished the parade here, Homecoming 2023, here at Midland Christian School. So excited to have you guys here for the weekend, all the festivities. So just off the hip, first take. What's your first take on all the madness here so far?
Just absolutely. Is this thing on?
Let's turn the mics on. There we go.
There you go. Snap it on. There we go. My fault. It's all right. It's amateur hour here,
good.
But absolutely blown away. I mean, this is like something I've never seen before. It is fantastic. We are blown away by the hospitality from y'all. I mean, it's top notch. And just seeing all the school spirit out right now. You know, every school has homecoming. I don't know if every school has homecoming like Midland Christian. This is fantastic.
Yeah, this is insane. You know, I've seen a lot of schools, been to a lot of homecomings, even private or public. Not a lot of schools do it like this, man, and it is something special out here in Midland, Texas.
Well, we like to say West Texas is the best Texas. You may have heard that before.
Yeah.
We like to do it big on this side of Texas, on the big side. But, man, what a great time to just be part of private school sports in general in Texas. A great matchup, obviously, tonight, but a lot of great things going on just in the world of Texas private school sports. And you guys are right in the middle of it. So just like what are some of the hot topics right now? I know we talked realignment earlier today. We talked a little bit about that. And just some of the schools that have kind of stepped up and are doing some great things. What's your just kind of general, 10,000-foot take on the world of private school sports as it sits right now in Texas?
You know, what's crazy is, we talked about realignment earlier, right? And what we noticed was not a lot of schools went down. Everyone went up. And, that just shows private schools are growing in enrollment every single year, the past 2 years extremely. And, more kids equal a lot more athletes, a lot more high-profile guys coming into the ranks, and, just makes overall private school football and other sports hugely more successful. So I think that's something that we really talked about last episode for us.
Yeah, absolutely. I think we're seeing a time right now. We have never seen this much talent in private school athletics.
Right.
I know there will be some people that will go back and say, 2007, 2010. As unbiased as I can be, and I've been in and around private school sports all my life, I have never seen this level of collegiate athletes playing at the high school level. It's incredibly exciting to watch, and we're going to see more than our fair share here tonight. We have a talent-packed matchup with Midland Christian and Liberty Christian. I'm sure that we'll preview that game a little bit later, but man, am I excited to be out here.
Yeah, no doubt. It seems like, the overall profile of private school sports has grown here in the last, even just the last 4 or 5 years. And you have some of these programs like, Parish Episcopal, obviously Liberty Christian, who's done some great things here recently with their football program. And you just look across the state, and even in the South, a side of the state that we don't see very often out here in northwest part of the world. But there's some schools down there. We talked about St. John's. Like Houston, and some of these schools down there. I know Concordia Lutheran and some of their programs that they've had down there, and like this weekend. How about all of the rivalry matchups this weekend in Texas private school football?
Yeah, it's going crazy. We talked about all the talent, like where you had the Brockemeyer brothers at All Saints a couple years ago, go play at Alabama. Donovan Jackson down there at Bel Air Episcopal. He went to Ohio State, starts there for the past couple years. And even down to Kincaid, Dylan Bell and Micah Bell going to Georgia and Notre Dame, where for Dylan, who's played some as a freshman, and even I think is now starting as a sophomore there at Georgia. So, private school guys, when they come to play, they're very, very, do a really good job. And like you said, a lot of teams like Bel Air, St. Thomas, Houston St. John's, down in San Antonio and Tony and Central Catholic have a lot of guys that could go play Division I ball or even high-level collegiate ball. The talent pool in the TXPS is going crazy in every part of the state.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'll speak to a team in DFW that I've been very high on this entire season is Dallas First Baptist. Yep. They're a Division IV team coached by Jason Lavorne. And the amount of skill position athletes that they have, and even in the trenches, they have probably 4 Division I, probably Power 5 guys on that roster. It's insane at a school even that small. It's a testament.
Right.
Any level you go in private school sports, you will find athletes that can play at the next level. Anyone that tells you otherwise is a liar.
Every city, every division, like it's crazy.
And I think that's something we can see in college sports too, right? Like, now the D2 level and D3 NAIA, like you start looking at these athletes that are running through different college programs. It's like there are more athletes than there used to be, right? Just period, across the board. And so now that every level is getting deeper and deeper and deeper. And so where even 10, 15, 20 years ago, you had some guys coming out of private schools like, oh man, that kid's good in this Division I school, and he may go play D1 somewhere. But now you start looking at all the way down through Division II, Division III, and you're seeing these guys. I mean, you look at a Dallas Christian team. Hey, here we go. We got the Patriots here with us. Let's go. All right, hey, who do you guys think are going to win? Y'all got Liberty Christian tonight? No. How about Midland Christian? All right, you guys heard it here first from the Patriots. All right, like a program that wins Super Bowl after Super Bowl after Super Bowl here in Midland. So if you don't know anything about West Texas, Big Texas sports, the Midland Patriots are where it's at here in GMFL football. So no doubt. So you'll be seeing these guys here in about 5-6 years out there on that field under the Friday night lights. We get to see them on Saturdays right now, but they're backing up a day here in a few years.
Yeah.
They'll be, hey, y'all do whatever. Y'all hang out. I love it. I love it. So we're talking about the depth in private school sports. These guys will be part of that depth here in a few years.
Absolutely.
And so let's take a turn here. And let's just talk about some of these, the fan bases and everything kind of outside of off the field, off the court. Who are you seeing around the state that are doing some really cool things? I'll just say, like, we were at All Saints last week, right? One of our rivals in our district, but they got the Letterman's Club over there.
Oh, yeah.
And like the tailgate, they invited us out to eat and did some really cool things, and just the camaraderie around their program. And they're not the only one. You guys get to be on the ground at a lot of these schools. What are some of the cool spots that you're seeing around the state?
Yeah, I'll start with All Saints. The Letterman Club, we've had great experiences with them. They are top-notch. You even see the public schools that come into play at All Saints comment that this is the best hospitality we've ever been treated with. It's a testament to just the character of a lot of these people at private school sports. They're fantastic people, and that's why we do what we do. We love it. Another atmosphere I'm very fond of is Dallas Christian. I've gotten the opportunity to go back twice this season. They've been kind enough to let me host not host, but be a guest on their game day show. And at a Division III school, the atmosphere there, and everyone knows the tradition and culture around it, it's fantastic. And my last favorite atmosphere that I get to go to is Kincaid and St. John's when they play at Rice Stadium every November around there. They tailgate. It's something that you see rarely at even a lot of college campuses. And for that to be at a high school game, man, it blows you away.
Yeah, for me, I down in College Station right now for A&M, so I get to be down in Houston a lot more. And St. Thomas down in Houston is one of the best environments in all of TXPS. They have a student section that goes from top to bottom of a big stands, and it is crazy. Where they're one of the biggest private schools in the state, so it makes sense. But they show out. They have their own they have a cannon. They have their own band on the field. It is one of the best environments for sure, and it's always a hard place to play. Another one down in San Antonio is absolutely Central Catholic. Central Catholic is known for having some of the best students and student section in the state. It's awesome. That's one game I wish I was going to be at. Is Central Catholic and Tonian this week, because that game is going to be electric for how much that rivalry is, and also the student sections come to play. And Central Catholic is awesome, and also Antonian on the other side. They tailgate. They have a giant tailgate with both schools, and it's so much fun down there in San Antonio. They really, really have a good time down there.
And that's kind of the cool thing about private school sports that we like here in Midland is, at these private schools, obviously you're going to have smaller numbers, right? You have these smaller communities, tight-knit communities, and in these bigger cities, right? So you have, you come out to a game, and you guys will experience this tonight. You're going to feel like you're at a 3A UIL game, right? Yeah. And maybe somewhere off the beaten path, but you get that family atmosphere, that small school atmosphere right here in the middle of town. And I feel like you get that a lot, in Fort Worth, in Dallas, in Houston, where it's just a unique atmosphere in the middle of a big population.
Yeah, and I'll add on to this, and I say this all the time. I think private school atmospheres rival or honestly beat a lot of public schools around the state of Texas, especially in the larger areas, because they play in these big ISD stadiums that don't fill up, and a lot of fans don't come every week. And I've been to a lot of public school games over the years, and it's night and day with private school.
I promise you're going to see a stadium that's not too big tonight,
right?
And a stadium that will fill up. You guys going to the game tonight? And I forgot who you guys had to win tonight. Did y'all have Liberty? Y'all have the Mustangs? Oh man, that's too easy.
They're starting to make me rethink my decision. I like the atmosphere here.
We'll work on you. We won't make you make your pick till about 6 o'clock tonight. We'll keep working on these guys. You guys work on these guys. We got Wes and Walker from Texas Private School Media making the trip from Houston and from Dallas, respectively. So props to these guys. Tell everybody really a little about what you guys are doing with Texas Private School Media, and then individually, I know you guys are both finishing up school, in grad school, doing some cool things. Where are you at right now, and kind of what are your plans for your platform and the next step?
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start with what TXPS is and how it started. It started 3 years ago in December of 2020, and we were all three, me, Walker, and Ryan Schroeder, were three guys that played Texas private school athletics, and we were more or less frustrated with the lack of coverage it got with respect to public school. Walker's famous line is, we didn't like seeing private school athletics get shoved to the back of the Houston Chronicle and the Dallas Morning News. And we were like, listen, we think that we have the opportunity to create something and get more coverage for private school sports.
You guys must not read the MRT.
No.
You don't read the MRT? They do a great job covering private school here. I railroaded you.
Well, good. I'm glad they do.
Shout out to MRT.
I'm glad they do a little bit better job than some other traditional media. But yeah, that's fantastic. And we were all like, we all enjoy covering sports more than the average person, as you can see with what we've done. But we were like, listen, let's all band together and start with just a podcast talking about private school sports. And it started there, and then it morphed into, okay, let's go cover games, because all of us love and have never gotten enough of the Friday night atmosphere. And it's cool, man, to see what it's grown into. We host an award show every single year to get added recognition. It's just, we're continuing to build on to what we do. And Midland Christian having us out here does just adds on to that. It's fantastic to see what it's going towards. Walker, have anything else to add?
I mean, on that standpoint, no. I mean, we're TXPS to the moon is what we always say, and that's what we want to do, and grow the game as much as we can. And man, doing stuff like this is one of the things that we love to do, and just covering private school athletics is the best. And we grown it from a podcast to a media company.
All right, the Mustangs are here. If you guys, if you can see the parade, I don't know what camera look we got, but Mustangs walking through Mustang Alley. We got the Patriots are still here. Any Patriots still around? You guys hanging out? All right, Mustangs set to take on the Warriors, and a classic rivalry, really. I was talking, with Walker last night about DSL. He didn't know who DSL was, so I had to inform him. But this rivalry goes back a long ways, through multiple generations. We've got dads and sons that have both played against DSL, against Liberty. And so reuniting kind of that rivalry again tonight here in Midland. And we talked a little bit last night about kind of a bittersweet game tonight, because we won't get to see this matchup for a couple more years with realignment. So I guess let's jump into that a little bit. You guys talked on your podcast this week about realignment, and some of the cool new matchups that we're going to have, some new rivalries, especially in the Dallas-Fort Worth area.
Yeah.
And then some of the travel and some of the different things that are going on. Let's talk just a little bit on what's your overview, or maybe just two things that really stuck out to you about the realignment.
I think, and the first thing I really want to say is it kind of a two-parter is they brought back a lot of the rivalries and a lot of districts that we've played a lot of times, which for the yes, sir. In TAPS Division II, District 1, we brought back Coram Deo, Grapevine Faith, and TCS Lubbock. And so those teams, we all played throughout the years, and so that's a really good district. And also, I honestly think it made all the divisions more balanced talent-wise. And I think that's also something that's going to be really crucial down the line is TAPS Division 1 kind of is going to be a lot of people that have talent to go and compete. Same with D2. D3, same there, and then Division 4. Division 3 also has Dallas Christian still in it, so that's a whole different story. But I feel like every division is very balanced. And then secondly, the travel for some of the districts is going to be very interesting to watch. In TAPS Division 2, District 2, Austin Regents will now be playing, and Austin Hyde Park will now be playing all of the Tyler schools and all of the Dallas schools in Division 2, which is something that is crazy to watch. Did not expect that.
Hold on. I'm going to cut you off right there. Are you guys hearing him? Are we hearing Walker right now? So Austin's got to drive up to Dallas. Is that the complaint? Is that what we're talking about? See, I'm chuckling here a little bit. We're talking about travel. These guys got to go 2.5, 3 hours.
See, the problem is y'all
sounds
are used
kind of like a Southwest Christian guy to me. I'm not sure.
That's a good point. Yeah, I mean,
no. It's something that we're weathered to. Like it's just part of.
Right.
It's just what it is.
Yeah.
And so a lot of these schools that are moving in. So Austin, for example, having to go to play in Tyler and play in Dallas, it's going to be a shock to their system, no doubt.
100%.
Right. But forgive us if we have a little bit of a chuckle when Austin or Dallas starts talking about how hard it is to travel to each other.
I mean, like we always say, the 5-hour, 6-hour bus drive down up here is scary for any team, but it's easy for all of y'all.
Well, I wouldn't say it's easy, but we've grown accustomed to it. But you're right. Those new districts now, specifically here in Division II, 5A. Again, we don't know a whole lot about Coram Deo, so tell us about kind of the Grapevine Faith, Coram Deo. You guys were talking about that and kind of what that looks like for.
So here's what I'll say. I'll preface by saying this. The worst thing that you can have as a player from personal experience playing private school ball is walking into a season and seeing one specific team and immediately going, it's all said and done. They've won state before the season started. Whenever there's that stark of a talent discrepancy with teams like Trinity Christian back in the day or maybe teams like Liberty now, it's, in my opinion, is not good for the sport when it's that unbalanced. Not trying to give anything away here tonight, but I like it a lot because this makes the divisions much more balanced. I think there's a lot of competition, a lot more healthy competition going into the year. Looking at District 1 for next year, I think there are 3 teams that are going to be very competitive for the district title. That's going to be All Saints. I think it's going to be Midland. And I think the third one could be Southwest. I think Southwest could really compete there. In terms of teams like Coram Deo coming in, I don't think there's going to be a lot of Coram Deo people watching this, so I can say this without a lot of restraint. They're not going to be a big player. They'll probably finish close to last. They've got a lot of young kids coming in. They won't be a threat immediately, but being in DFW, they can always recruit and get more people in. But
condolences to our friends in Flower Mound, our 2 subscribers. They're in Flower Mound. No shade thrown your way. We don't claim any of his comments. But I'll let you continue. I had to throw the disclaimer in there.
As long as this is on Mustang Network and not on TXPS branding, I can say what I want with little fear of repercussion from Coram Deo. But all that being said, I'm much more excited with how much more balanced the districts are going to be. I'll also add this. We got a tip from a source that a relegation system was very close to being enacted in Texas private school football and TAPS.
Hold on. Run that back. Run that back one more time. Say that again. Did you say relegation?
Relegation.
Relegation with an L?
With an L, yes.
Relegation. Okay, you're going to have to break that all the way down for me. How does that work?
So basically the way that it would have been formed is the bottom 4 teams in a division and the top 4 teams in a division. The bottom 4 teams in District 2, say, will be moved down to Division 3 for the next season. The top 4 teams in District 2 will be moved up to Division 1 for the next season. So you see this a lot in European soccer, like the Premier League. If you don't perform, you get bumped down. If you over-exceed expectations, you get moved up. Personally, I would be a fan of this. Exactly. Again, I can say this now because I'm not playing and I'm removed from all of the absolute nightmare scheduling this would involve. But I think teams like Dallas Christian and D3 who just shouldn't be there. They're there because of their size, but they're much better. If you can play your way up a level, I think it's great for competition. I think it'd be great for the sport.
Yeah, I love the Ted Lasso feel to that whole deal. I mean, you guys would have content for days with that. Yeah, it would go crazy. Walker, what do you think?
Adding on to that, it was supposed to start out by where basically the enrollment would have started this year, and then it would go from there. I would think it would be a little difficult. I love the idea. Firstly, I love the idea. I think it's going to be really, really profitable for a lot of teams. I do think it would be interesting to be like, okay, a team like, I don't honestly, y'all, for example, gonna be that Division 2, the Division 1 range. Would y'all be okay with bumping up and down every couple of years and dealing with that.
So let me ask you this, and you guys don't have to give me your source or anything like that, but just as you guys are talking through that, are we talking football is separate from basketball and baseball? Is this a Henderson Cup type situation? What are we talking in terms of, because you could do it a number of different ways. And I say, hey, if you really want to distinguish yourself from the UIL, from other states, TAPS could be really unique in that aspect where you start to do some different things, and it's like, man, this is intriguing.
Yeah, from what I gathered, it was football specific. I could be wrong. Again, it got shot down pretty early from my knowledge, but I think the best way to go would be sport specific. And listen, I know from an administrative standpoint, that would be kind of a nightmare having, one team in 4A, another team in D1 football. It would be hard. However, I think it'd be unfair to move an entire team's athletics up and down based on, a weighted average type of things. I think just talking football in a vacuum, I don't see a lot of disadvantages purely for the sport. It gets all of these teams, it gets teams that are just obviously not competitive out of divisions where they're getting blown out every week. And it gets teams that are over excelling into a division where they're playing teams they should be playing and they're not just weed whacking inferior opponents. I personally think it'd be great.
Yeah.
I love it. And I want to talk a little bit more about some ideas that kind of brings up. And we're gonna take a break here on Mustang Network. We'll come back on the other side, kind of talk through some of those things, put a bow on these things. These guys will be back for the pregame show later for Game Day Live. So we're here from the parade here at Mustang Alley, setting up we're right in the middle of a menu full of activities here in Midland, getting set for homecoming tonight, homecoming 2023. Midland Christian versus Liberty Christian here from Gordon Archery Field. We'll see you guys. We'll talk to you on the backside of this break.